And then people always think that you have to be deficient. So, okay, well, if I want to lose weight, I have to just cut calories or increase calories to put on weight. Let's say just for easy math, your maintenance is 2,200 calories. You can stay there and just bump your protein up and dial your fat down a little bit, or bump your protein up and dial your carbs down a little bit, or vice versa, and your body will change too. Yo, what's happening, guys? Welcome to the Battle Ready Show. Today I am joined with my good friend, Nate Yamasaki Kamikaze. We're going to hit you with some importance of data and why it matters. So Nate, you connect with a lot of our guys on a daily basis, and a lot of them don't seem to understand why data is important or why multiple data sources are important. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about your experience with data, why it matters? So hit us with it, man.
Yeah, I think for me, why data is important. I can personally talk about my own kind of journey when I was going through mine, and I focused heavily a lot on the scale.
Same.
And when I did that, the body that I created, and this was my routine, I focused on not eating that much, and I focused on a lot of cardio, and I eventually did lose weight.
Of course you did.
Right. But what happened was I went from looking like a big potato to a small potato.
Yeah, you just pinched your screen and zoomed out.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, this can't be right. So I needed to start looking at other data sets other than just the scale.
Right.
Because that was just only one form.
Okay.
And the one that I had to look at really is what I was eating, right? Macros, that matters.
Of course.
Lifting weights, that matters. And I started to have to really look at this because there's a saying in the carpenter industry. I grew up pretty blue collar. It's called a WAG estimate.
Right.
Wild ass guess. And that's basically what I was doing is I was guessing my food. I was guessing maybe this workout was right, but it wasn't exactly built for sculpting a body. But that's what I actually wanted. It wasn't just, hey, lose a bunch of weight. I actually wanted some sculpting in my body. So in a sense, it's a blueprint. Right? You follow the blueprint.
Right.
Don't take WAG estimates. Look at different data sets, not just weight, body fat. And I think in your experience too, most men want to lose body fat, not necessarily just weight.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're 400 pounds, you got to lose weight.
Right.
There's a significant amount of structure there that has to disappear first. But if you're 220 pounds and you're 6 foot tall, you don't need to lose weight. You need a recomposition. You need to put muscle where there is fat or trade it off 1 for 1. Because if you are 6 foot and you weigh 135 pounds, I mean, you're a toothpick. You have to dance in the shower to get wet.
Yeah.
So that's not a good look. But 220 peeled out and jacked, now you command space in a room. You look the part. You feel the part. It's hard not to be confident when you're 220 pounds and peeled.
Right.
So it's not about weight loss. Most guys are like, I need to lose weight. No, you don't, bro. You need to build muscle and you need to lose fat. Because if you lose weight, you're going to look the same as you do now. And let's be honest, you fucking hate the guy you're looking at in the mirror. So you don't want to lose weight because you're going to look the same, just smaller.
Yeah.
You want to build muscle, burn fat.
Yeah.
So did this happen to you? Because this happened to me and it mind fucked the shit out of me, right? I was huge. Like just shy of 300 pounds. And then I got down to about 265. It's similar to you. I was watching the scale. I jumped on the scale every day. Oh, down a pound. Yes. Down a pound. Yes. Okay, cool. Then I got to about 265 and the fucking scale didn't move for about 45 days, dude. 265, 265, 265, 265. Fuck. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And thankfully I understood data at that point. So I was taking progress pictures every day too. So then I went to the next data source and I looked at the progress pictures and I was like, oh shit. Like my composition's now changing. So I lost the excess fat and now it was almost like a 1-to-1 trade-off where I was losing fat, building muscle, and almost like a 1-to-1 type ratio. But if I didn't have those progress pictures, and this was me previously, for sure, after about a week of seeing 265 on the scale, quit. This is not for me. Clearly 265 is as good as it gets, I'm done.
Yeah.
How many guys do you come across that do that?
Tons.
Shit tons.
Tons, because that's the only measurement. And you're right, the photos, that makes a difference. I was up to 2 photos a week. I do one on Monday and I do one on Friday. Monday was because I wanted to have an accountability of not eating like an asshole for the weekend. And then Friday is just right before. But photos are another good data point. Your clothes is a great data point. And, you know, just one thing before we continue on that, you know, the one thing that I didn't know, and there's a whole different subject, is I got to the point I was eating almost like 1,200 calories a day.
Right.
Is that healthy, you think?
Not even
for a man?
close.
Yeah, not
You're 6
even,
foot tall? 6'1"?
No, I'm 5'11".
Oh,
you know.
shit.
And
Okay.
so you start, that's what happens when you get hung up on just the scale. You reach a point where you're eating less than a high school student, and you're a grown man. And so that's why that, you know, only focusing on the weight is going to screw you up.
Well, yeah.
As well as your metabolism, right?
Well, you got, so you're at 1,200 calories. You're destroying your metabolism. You're destroying your testosterone levels. And then you break down. Like, I got sick. I was constantly sick. I was constantly struggling, body aches, all of that stuff, because my body's just like, bro, you're asking so much of me every single day, but you're not giving me anything to fucking work with.
Yeah.
And this was also before I understood macro breakdown. So I'm fairly confident that 90% of that 1,200 calories was all carbs as well.
Yeah.
So now
pretty
it's
much.
like losing all this muscle mass to the point where I was like 180 pounds and skinny as a motherfucker. Like, literally looked like I was dying. It's not a good
Bones.
look.
No, it's not. No. And
Still had a belly though too.
Yeah,
like
that
everywhere
wouldn't
where I was
go
trying
away.
to lose weight wasn't going, and the stomach was still hanging over. But I had like zero fucking arm strength. My legs were pins, and like it's just horrible.
yeah. And I think that's why a lot of times when, you know, we're coaching, you know, in our program, the Battle Ready program, a lot of men trip out because we tell them to eat more.
Yeah.
Say, hey, brother, eat more. Well,
Right.
am I going to get fat?
fat.
No. There's a process to this. You need to be eating more than what you're doing. And I think it's very nuanced, right? Fat loss, weight loss, it's more nuanced than, you know, any monkey can just cut your calories until you do cardio for 2 hours a day. And yeah, you're going to lose weight.
Yeah.
But you're not going to, the result, more than likely, you're going to be unhappy with.
Yeah, I literally just had this conversation over the weekend. I said to a guy, so break down your nutrition. It's weird. I don't know about if this happens to you, but pretty much everywhere I go, people are like, oh, you must work out, right? I'm like, yeah, a little bit. And they're like, oh, what supplements you take? Like, supplements don't matter. But it's more about nutrition. Talk to me about your nutrition. What are you trying to do? So the guy's like, well, I really want to just like peel out and I want to get shredded and I want to do this and I want to do that. Okay, cool. Talk to me about what you're eating. Bro, if the guy was eating 900 calories a day, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It's like 2 fried eggs in the morning for breakfast, like turkey sausage for lunch and yogurt for dinner. And I'm like, okay, so the breakdown of your macros suck. You're getting nowhere near enough protein. You're not getting any kind of sustenance, but you're doing a fuck ton of output. And it's just like, no wonder your body's inflamed and horrible and hating you and you've got pain everywhere. It's because you're just not doing the right thing. So I'm like, you need to eat more. Oh no, I couldn't possibly eat more. You could, and you should. Like, you don't have to do it overnight, because this is where the guys go next, right? Oh, you're saying I can eat more? Cool, I'm gonna eat 5,000 calories. No, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
You can't eat 5,000 calories. If you're eating 900 calories, up it by 10% or 20% and do that for like 2 to 3 weeks. Everyone's rushing this shit, bro. Hey man, I wanna get 20 pounds of lean muscle mass in 20 days. Not even anabolics will do that for you.
No.
Okay.
It's more like a year.
Yeah.
It might take more than a year to do
Right.
that.
I'm like,
right.
what's the rush? Do you plan on dying in 20 days so you want to look peeled in a coffin? Like, what are you hoping for here? Just slow play that shit. You got a lifetime. So if you imagine it taking 10 years, even a year, say you imagine it taking a year. Now you can go, okay, cool. I'm okay with this process taking long, so I can do these micro changes. That ultimately becomes more sustainable, more enjoyable, and we do it. Versus, oh man, okay, I'm gonna crash diet the fuck out of myself. I need to lose 20 pounds in 20 days. So I'm gonna eat 900 calories. I'm gonna do stupid amounts of cardio. I'm gonna work out for 6 hours a day. Okay, cool. You could maybe do that for 20 days.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that, you come out and you stop doing that shit because it's not sustainable, it's not enjoyable. Like, I know about you, but 6 hours a day in the gym, I'd rather stab my neck with a knife.
It's too long for me.
Right.
Yeah. Got a
So
family.
now-
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, it's not sustainable. You're not going to enjoy it. And then what do? You go back to old ways. And that 20 pounds you lost, you just throw it back on with interest because you've killed yourself. And the cravings and everything else that you're now dealing with is way over the top. So that 20 pounds becomes 30 pounds. Stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a really strong data point that really changed the way, you know, I was sculpting my body is like really understanding what your personal maintenance calories are. That's the big one. In my opinion, that's the one that everybody should kind of figure out, because it's not always the same. The moment you start to do more cardio, it's going to shift. The moment you focus more on lifting weights, that's going to shift. More than likely, their maintenance calories are going to go up. And I never really understood that. And basically, you know, the way I would define it, and you know, you can tell me what your thoughts are, is basically whatever calories it takes for you to eat a day that keeps you at your body fat level and your level of fitness and your weight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a data point too, and we can use weight then. But then you can start to manipulate now, hey, I want to add more muscle or I want to lean out once you have that number.
Right.
But we don't get that number until you actually start to track the data.
Right.
And that's the data that you need.
Yeah. And then people always think that you have to be deficient. So, oh, okay, well, if I want to lose weight, I have to just cut calories or increase calories to put on weight. You know, you can fuck with your macros too, right? You can still, let's say just for easy math, your maintenance is 2,200 calories. You can stay there and just bump your protein up and dial your fat down a little bit, or bump your protein up and dial your carbs down a little bit, or vice versa, and your body will change too.
Yeah.
But like, how many people don't understand that shit because they just want to overcomplicate stuff and make it crazy?
Quite a few. Yeah.
Blows my brain. Okay, so let's summarize this real quick in terms of like some key data points that you track, and then I'll tell you about the key data points that I track.
Yeah.
And then let's like put a bow on this thing.
Yeah. For me, just thinking about my day, how much quality sleep I get.
Fact.
Because that's going to impact my hormone balances, right?
Huge.
I cannot operate well if I can deal with a little bit of sleep, but it has to be just deep sleep. So I use a little bit of magnesium for that, which is a whole nother subject. Water intake. Make sure that, you know, if you're a hybrid athlete, you definitely need to have at least a gallon of water a day. Make sure you have some salt in it. So that's big for me. And stress amount also too, another big one. Huge. I track that. I'm mindful of that. That's another data point, because if you're overstressed, you're overworked, you're overtraining, you're doing all these things, your results are going to get stifled.
Oh, well, cortisol's through the roof, testosterone suppressed, estrogen rises, everything gets
tremendous amount.
Yeah.
Protein intake of all the calories, you know. In the past I tracked for 2 years straight, so for the most part I can intuitively eat, unless I need to prepare for an event or something else, then I start tracking again. So, you know, I monitor my protein intake. I always make sure I have 200 to 230 grams every single day. Those are big ones. And then, you know, I get onto tracking if there's an event coming up. Right. And as far as lifting, I track weight, you know, progressive overload, making sure that, you know, I can tell if I'm getting weaker or stronger, if the program I'm on is actually making me stronger and building more muscle. Those are numbers that I need to track. I think before in the past, I used to go in there and lift the same weights, the same reps every day, always Monday. This is the weight I choose, never trying to improve. Right. And so, you know, that's what I had to track. And I think that's, yeah, for the most part, that's what I look at as far as what's important for the numbers, the data sets that you want to look at. And then, finally, the photos.
Yes.
Right? Yes. For body fat. I get more out of a photo than a machine.
For sure. Because the machine's easily manipulated.
Right. And then sometimes, you know, I used to freak out about being, you know, 2 or 3%. Oh, my body fat went up 2 or 3%. But I look in the mirror, it looks
leaner.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. Photo's much better. And then last but not least, the weight.
Yeah.
So, sorry, that took a lot longer than.
No. It was perfect, because now I don't have to add any. I use a smart scale. Every morning I stand on it, and I just look for trend lines. So I want to see, like, okay, we're trending down or we're trending up, whatever. That's good times. I don't get too caught up on that specific data, because like we talked about, easily manipulated. Like you jump on a in-body machine or any kind of smart scale, and you've had caffeine or too much water or food or whatever, it manipulates your numbers, always does. So I just look for trend lines. As long as it's trending in the right direction, we're good. And then, like you said, every day in the gym, I have to be, I call it the 1% rule. 1% better than I was yesterday. So if I came in here and I benched 315 5x5, I'm going to do 315 5x6, or I'm going to do 320 5x5, or whatever the case might be. So like progressive overload, we talked about this on a call actually last week, didn't we? About different ways of progressive overloading. We should probably do a video on that. It'll be very good. But yeah, that's it, man. It doesn't have to be complicated. The progress pictures are a must. And I know most people don't want to do it because, for me, when I was at my worst, I didn't take fucking pictures, dude. I didn't want to see what I was looking at. I wish I did now. Hindsight's 20/20, and I'm like, shit, that before and after would be fire.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I had already lost 30-ish pounds, I then did my first progress picture, which wasn't as nasty as it should have been. But like, do yourself the favor and do the photos.
Yeah.
Because they don't lie.
No, they don't.
You can't fucking lie in that shit. Like, I can lie to you and go, Nate, I bench pressed 5x5, 355 this morning. You put me under a bar with you here now, you'll tell if I did or not.
Oh, yeah.
But a progress picture, I can go, yeah, Nate, I've been dialing in my nutrition, I'm on points. And then my progress picture's shit. You're like, wait, Byron, what's up?
Yeah.
Dude? You can't lie here.
This
tells us
can't.
everything.
Yeah, it tells everything.
So, like, find your version of the truth. I always say progress picture is the biggest truth teller. It'll tell us if you're stressed. It'll tell us if you're sleeping well. It'll tell us if you're tracking, if you're not, if you're working, if you're not. Progress pictures are a game changer.
Yep.
So I think we pretty much nailed that one, right?
Yeah, I think that's the data that you need to be looking at, not just the scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. So there you have it. Data and why it's important. Get yourself taking progress pictures, multiple data sources, so that when you do inevitably find yourself hitting a brick wall of sorts, you can look at a different set of data and see whether you're still making progress or whether that wall is real. Hope you guys are well. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next week.